So let's hear our next question from the board.
Hi, Idia. How do I explain to my friends and parents that I suffer from severe anxiety attacks when I'm with more than a maximum of 5 people without being classified as antisocial?
Okay, so I'll let you guys.
Okay, so I think it's always difficult for for people to come out to talk about their mental illness.
Yeah.
And for her, in her own case, she already has should I say social anxiety.
Yeah.
So it's actually harder for her because that's part of the symptoms of social anxiety. It's harder for her to express herself to people.
Yeah.
And then it's harder for her to explain why she can't go out to where maybe there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So there's actually a process to use. You can develop, just call it talking process.
Okay.
There are like 3 steps. There's a talking process where you talk about the talk. So, pick out 1 or 2 friends, you think about the pros and the cons of talking to that one friend.
Yeah.
And then you talk to the person about the talk. Like, I want to talk to you about something very important. I'm already embarrassed by it, but I want you to be patient with me. Do not make me get ashamed of it.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the talk you're about to have.
Yeah.
So now the next step is now to talk about the problem. So, and in her own case, she has anxiety. So, go ahead, she go ahead and say something like, I think I'm finding it hard to cope when I have more than 5 people around me. It's getting difficult for me to cope with my life, my job, that way. So I need help. And I need you to be there for me. So after that, suggest the problems or the ways in which they can help you solve the problem. Like, I want to be able to go to the therapist. I want you to remind me when I want to go to therapist. I want you to stop me from taking too much alcohol in the club so it doesn't interfere with my drugs. And something like that. So it makes it easier for you to develop some kind of rapport with your friend. And they make it easier. They're like anxiety buddies for you. They make it easier for you to cope outside. When you go outside, when you go out there more than 5 people, they tell you, all right, take your time, interact, talk to the person. And you find that with time, it takes time, but with time, it becomes easier for you to talk to people. And then also, like if you know what your diagnosis is, it means you've been going to the hospital,
Yeah.
which means they should have offered psychotherapy to you and cognitive behavioral therapy. These things help you to cope. So.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I was going to say, I really like the idea about talk about the talk. I think sometimes it's difficult to just get into what the issue is straight away. So that's like a nice stepping stone before we actually talk about the real thing. Let's talk about, can I talk about it? One of the social media campaigns that was going on, that was happening pretty much last week through Mental Health Awareness Week, was saying that it's okay to talk, this morning I literally just read a Twitter feed by one quite prominent Nigerian poet, and she was talking about exactly that, about her anxiety when she gets on stage, like right before she gets on stage, and even though it looks like she's doing well, she's really like battling inside. She's battling through like all these nerves and all of that, and I think that just by having that conversation, even over Twitter, she's able to release. It's a nice release for her. Yeah. So it's an anonymous conversation, but then at the same time, obviously you're going to get lots and lots of traction. And I think you will be surprised with how much support you get and how much you realize that other people are going through.
But just reeling this in a little bit. You work with children, correct?
Yes.
So this person's asking, how do I come out to my parents? How does somebody talk to, you said have to talk about the talk,
Yes.
right? With your friend or whoever. Would it be the same process when you're trying to speak to your parents? Because again, a lot of African parents are like, what do you mean you're depressed? Or what do you mean this? Or, okay, you have anxiety. What are you talking about? Do you want to take public speaking classes? They wouldn't think that's even ridiculous. Like, they're just difficult to explain those kind of things too, because in their generation, they didn't know what to classify it as, let's be honest. They didn't have all these terms and this understanding of these issues. So for them, it's just, you're being dramatic, or why did I send you to school in America? Now you've come. That kind of thing. So how do you, is it the same process? Talk about what you're about to tell them, or is there a different way to approach it?
Definitely, it depends on your parents. And it depends on the relationship you have with your parents. Yeah, but I would still take that same kind of strategy. And choose an opportune moment where your parents are not necessarily stressed from a day's work or, so try to choose a relaxed moment. And then, I would take it step by step, like approach it carefully. But yeah, I would say.
But maybe in this case, you can actually mention a doctor. You cannot say the doctor said I have social anxiety. So parents listen to things when it relates to doctors.
That's true.
More. Yeah. So I think that's it.
So you've heard from our guests. Definitely, when speaking to your parents, you might want to find the right time to talk to them about it. Don't talk to them when they are stressed or already angry about something. And also, if you have some kind of reference or some concrete evidence that this is actually an issue and not just you panicking or being nervous, then that also helps when talking to Nigerian parents. But I like what Victor was saying about, the process of speaking to your parents or your friends. So, talk about the problem and talk about the solutions, how the person can help you. And I hope that, some of this has helped you answer your question. We have to take a quick break right now, guys, but don't go anywhere because You've Got Issues will be back. Don't forget that you can join the conversation online by hashtagging YGI on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Stay with us.